The Miami Dolphins take on the Tennessee Titans Monday Night Football for a potential revenge game that has turned bad with Tua Tagovailoa being injured. Dolphins and Titans are both teams that have struggled. The Titans are 0-2. The Miami Dolphins are 1-2, and I'm here to break it all down, starting with the Miami Dolphins offense versus the Tennessee Titans defense. Now, Titans defense has been very good through 3 weeks. It's their offense that have let them down, but I'm just going to go through these numbers and take it with a grain of salt. It's been only 3 weeks, so they're not fully indicative of how these teams are, but it's how they've performed these past 3 weeks given their circumstances. The Dolphins offense is 32nd in points per game. The Titans defense is 24th in points allowed. And to be fair, I'm getting these stats from ESPN. I think they count points allowed towards the defense even if it's a pick six. And we all know Will Levis is a turnover machine. The Dolphins are 11th in passing yards per game. The Titans are 3rd in passing yards allowed. The Dolphins are 25th in rushing yards per game, and the Titans are 20th in rushing yards allowed. I'm going to start right there with that stat. I have been saying this all freaking year, and Mike McDaniel is yet to listen. He needs to commit to running the football. He had plenty of good runs last week in Seattle, especially on the interior, and he just kept going away from it with a backup quarterback in a loud environment. It drew me crazy. He's a former run game coordinator, and he refuses to stick with the running game. So I hope this is finally the game. I don't believe it until I see it at this point, because he's yet to show that he's willing to commit to running the football, but the Dolphins need to commit to running the football if they want to win with a backup quarterback. I digress. Some notes for the game. The Titans have arguably one of the best defensive lines in all football with Jeffrey Simmons, Vondre Sweat, Harold Landry. They have a very good interior line, so it's going to be difficult to run the football on the inside, which is where the Dolphins have had success. They've struggled running the ball to the outside, but have had success running it to the inside. So it's going to be an interesting battle. QB, as of filming this video, is unknown. Mike McDaniel said he's unsure. Tyreek Hill said in his presser,
I work with Tim Boyle. I mean, so I really don't know. I mean, like I said, Tim Boyle was out there throwing. They even had water throwing, man. So we're in the process of looking for anybody who can throw. Open applications.
The beat reporters were saying take it with a grain of salt. So genuinely, I don't know who's playing quarterback. I could see it being Boyle because he's had more experience in this scheme. I could see it being Huntley because he's just the better football player. So I don't know. I really don't. I wish I did. I thought Boyle played way better than Skylar Thompson when he came into the game, so I think that's a good thing. Huntley, we all know what he brings to the table in terms of athleticism, but how will he look in a scheme that he's been in for less than 2 weeks? Tron Armstead is still in concussion protocol, so that's something to keep an eye on. Armstead's been playing good while he's on the field, which is always the case with him. So if he's down, it'll be interesting to see if the Dolphins run with Patrick Ball or Kendall Lamb at the left tackle spot. The players to watch for the Tennessee Titans, they have a stacked defense, man. They've been playing pretty good football, like I've mentioned. It's their offense that have let them down, and their DC comes from the same coaching tree that we saw last week, and we have in-house in Anthony Weaver. It's a Baltimore Raven scheme from last season from under Mike McDonald with the Tennessee Titans. I forget who they took, but it's one of the guys from the Titans. And they've got Jeffrey Simmons, once again, one of the best interior defensive linemen in football. Jerry Sneed, who tortured us last year, very good, pressed the crap out of Tyreek Hill. Vondre Sweat, who's a beast in the middle of the field, being able to stop the run. Harold Landry, who I think is one of the most underrated players in all of football, a very good edge rusher. Ernest Jones, who they acquired from the Rams, who's a very good blitzing backer. Andre Diggs, who's been one of the best safeties in all of football for the past decade now at this point. That might be a little long, probably half decade rather. And then Armani Hooker, once again, a very underrated quality safety. The Titans, man, have had a good defense under that Vrabel era, and obviously they kept a lot of those players, and they're just underrated dogs. So keys to winning the game for the Miami Dolphins on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, I've been screaming it from the mountaintops. Run the damn football and stick with it. And to be fair, obviously there's circumstances that leads to them not running the football, clamor for them to run the football, and it's 3rd and 2 and they run the football and get stuffed. So there's things like that happen, but run the ball and then clean up the operational mistakes that we saw last week. Now, I think a large part of that was due to the fact of the loud environment in Seattle and not being able to hear, but it's something that kind of got cleaned up after Mike McDaniel's first year. Last year was pretty good for the most part. It still happened from time to time, but it's reared its head back in this past season, honestly, because there's been burn timeouts because of whether it's getting the play call in late, breaking the huddle late, and then having to do the motions with like 3 seconds left. It's a constant thing. Clean up the operational mistakes. And I honestly think that also includes simplifying the offense. And maybe this is a benefit to not having Tua, is if we can get out of this stretch without Tua and simplify the offense unintentionally because it's too complicated for the other quarterbacks and it benefits the team, I think that could be a silver lining potentially. Once again, it's looked very bad without Tua, and I don't don't necessarily expect that to change. But I do think this offense has needed simplifying for a long time because it's every single game. It's a mistake due to the complexity of the offense, whether it's Tua thrown to the wrong spot because there's a miscommunication, the receiver running the wrong route, the offensive line moving in the wrong direction, a false start, a holding, like it's just all of these motions. And once again, like having to break the huddle so late because you have a very long playing call and you try and have everyone understand their job. And then having 3 motions before the snap, like sometimes it's benefit to coming out and not motioning, seeing what the defense is in, and going from there. And once again, the scheme is predicated on some motion, but not every single play has to have 2 to 3 motions, is what I'm saying. I think this offense does need to get simplified, but overall the key is to clean up those operational mistakes. So I would say the Titans defense definitely has the leg up on the Miami Dolphins offense. Any chance for the Dolphins to win this game, it's going to be a ball control, running the football, playing good defense. That is the key to victory. And the unfortunate thing is Mike McDaniel, as I've said before, has yet to show that he's committed to playing that style of football to win games when it comes down to that. He's always plays the other way, which is unfortunate. I'm hoping he finally learns to kind of win that way, win in an ugly fashion. If that means, once again, we put a win in the standings. The Dolphins defense versus the Titans offense, kind of similar to the Dolphins offense versus the Titans defense. The Dolphins offense has been letting the defense down, vice versa for the Titans. Titans offense is 28th in points per game. Dolphins defense is 22nd in points allowed. Titans are 28th in passing yards per game. The Dolphins are 12th in passing yards allowed. Titans are 20th in rushing yards per game. Dolphins are 12th in rushing yards allowed. I want to highlight that. I feel like people have been trashing the Dolphins run defense. The Dolphins run defense has been very good. Obviously, there's a few moments where they get gashed, and obviously those are not good. But being 12th and you consider the kind of defense they play, the Dolphins play with a light box, meaning a heavy box is considered 7 or more guys within the range of the tackles, meaning it's better for you to stop the run, necessarily harder to stop the pass, but you get that extra defender in pass coverage or further back to help passing coverage. So it puts more stress on the defensive line to help stop the run. And the Dolphins have been doing a fine job. I'm not too concerned about the run defense. Zach Sealer and Calais Campbell have been playing some of the best ball league-wide. They've been playing out of their minds. Some notes for the Dolphins: David Long is banged up with a hamstring injury, and then Kendall Fuller is still in concussion protocol. Luckily for the whole Fuller injury, Fuller's been playing good ball as well. I don't care what people really have to say. But Storm Duck played pretty well in filling his role, and Kader Kohu, when adjusted his role, also played pretty well. Once again, the defense is not the issue. The offense have been putting them in terrible spots, and once again, they have made mistakes, but they're also in a new scheme. I have the confidence, and I think they're going to continue to get better. And like I said, I think the offense are able to learn to win ugly, running the football, maybe simplify the offense, and start playing really good defense, and then you drop Tua back into the mix. It's kind of a key to make a little bit of a run.
Stop the cap.
Call me an optimist. I know. Dolphins keys on defense. Don't let up the big play. And I mean, a perfect example of this is the touchdown to DK Metcalf, because Javon Holland wanted to jump the dig route, because Seattle offense throws a lot of dig routes. Team football, the Dolphins are going to have to play, is going to be let up the 20-yard dig route and don't give up the touchdown. So I think that's kind of the way the Dolphins are going to have to learn to play. Don't force trying to make a player and intercept. Like, obviously, if Javon Holland jumps a dig and picks it off, then you don't hear me saying anything. But I think it's just more important to make them earn those points, make them have long drives, because as we all know, Will Levis is prone to lateraling the ball to the defense or throwing it right to your defender. So let them beat you if that's the case. Make them drive the length of the field, have to nickel and dime, and earn their way to score against you. Improve pass rush. I think this pass rush has been mediocre at best. They've had moments, but overall, it sets the defense up for failure. And I think it's kind of the unfortunate situation the Dolphins are in, with Jalen Phillips returning from the injury, not fully being himself, Bradley Chubb still being on IR, Chop Robinson being a rookie. I see a lot of people trying to trash Chop and promote Andrew Van Ginkel. I am the biggest Andrew Van Ginkel fan, but Chop Robinson's a rookie who is known for kind of having that explosiveness, that raw talent, and that needs to continue to develop. So to expect him to be an Andrew Van Ginkel type pass rusher out the gates, I think is just facetious, doing him a disservice. I think he's going to develop into a fine player. So I'm just hoping with time, more development for Chop, more health for Jalen Phillips, that this pass rush just kind of improve, maybe improve the blitzing on how they do that. But I think the pass rush from the interior defensive line has been great. Deshaun Hand, Zach Sealer have been playing very good football. And then sit back and let Levis cook. Like I said, make him beat you, nickel and diming it. Don't give him that big play. They're going to push the ball downfield to their good contested catch receivers in Calvin Ridley and DeAndre Hopkins, so just make them earn it. Players to watch, the running back duo Pollard and Spears, they are both dynamic players. Not guys that are going to get 20 plus touches, but they're a good kind of speed duo. They kind of both have similar skill sets, so it's kind of an interesting signing of Pollard, but they come from the Cincinnati tree. So take that with a grain of salt. Calvin Ridley and D-Hop, they're a receiving duo. Obviously, D-Hop's kind of old and slow. He still can get a contested catch, though. He's still D-Hop. And then Calvin Ridley had a phenomenal game week 2 and then has been quiet the other 2 weeks. So he's been up and down. Chigakonkwo, their tight end, I'm a huge fan of because he was a former fullback with the Terps. So keep an eye on Chigakonkwo. And I mean, shoot, Will Levis, he's a little bit of all or nothing. We saw it firsthand. He beat the Dolphins, and that's what really ruined the season last year. I would love for us to get revenge. It just doesn't look great for us. So lifetime, I'm 25-13 picking the Dolphins game since I started making YouTube videos. So once again, that's very good.
Something ain't right. Something ain't right. And damn it, it's time that we find out.
Comment your thoughts and your prediction down below before I give mine. My prediction, and I've gone back and forth because I can really see Dolphins continuing this path of awful offense against a good defense and losing. I could also see, like, I crave McDaniels just digging in his bag and just pounding the football, being the schematic guru we know. But until he proves it, and until we can see competent quarterback play outside of Tua, I just don't know if I can pick the Dolphins to win. So I have the Titans winning 20-17. But I really hope I'm wrong. And like I said, I can see a scenario where if McDaniel really just commits to running the football, we really can win this game, and like we can really look competent. Like I don't think it's that far off. Even look at the Seahawks game. Like there was so many plays that were just a hair off. When a third down where the ref blows a whistle when the play stops or starts and our players stop running. Like there's just so many things that are hair off that could flip the entire outcome of a game. But until I see it, I don't know if I can believe in the Dolphins as much as I would like to. I'm still an optimist. I can still see ways for us to win some of these games and have a good run when Tua comes back. But that's my prediction, 2017. Comment your thoughts down below. I appreciate you guys for watching. Like and subscribe to help the channel grow. And until next time, fins up.